Welcome to the next episode of the Iconoclastic Wrestling Podcast. I'm Iconoclast.
And I'm your host, Nick Taka.
And we are recording here on Halloween.
Well, we would have been here last night, but I got into a minor fender bender. And I say fender bender because my fender is now bent.
Yeah, I saw it outside.
But we're here on Halloween, so if you hear any doorbells or any kids in the background,
I'm dressed.
We don't want to deal with them either.
I'm dressed up as Billy Butcher from The Boys, and
Is that what did this?
no, well, I don't have the coat on. I left it in the car.
I have no idea what you're talking about when you talk about The Boys. I know what the show is, but I don't
And you're
know.
dressed up like
A doctor who just got done a proctological rotation.
yeah.
I don't know.
So let's talk about this week in wrestling.
Well, and also we're doing another thing behind us where I'm porting over stuff again. We got ECW Hardcore Heaven 1994
Right before they went
to Extreme. This is Eastern Championship Wrestling.
So
if you hear us, and you can,
when it's not as good,
you make us an off comment about Tommy Dreamer or Terry Funk or somebody like that.
Maybe not as good, but definitely different.
Yeah.
Again, here it's like NWA territories.
Before they were ECW, they were NWA Tri-State. They were NWA Tri-State's what Mid-South wound up becoming. Or Tri-State became Mid-South. They were Tri-State Wrestling Alliance. And they used to have shows in the Spectrum. They were black. Pop and I think, actually.
Who's that guy in the white suit?
That's Jason, the sexiest man alive. Just met his girlfriend a couple months ago. He must live around here or something.
God, these gimmicks are terrible.
He's anything but sexy, too.
What's the thing on his face?
He's got a band-aid on. He could have come so fucking shaved. Anyway.
It's like Vince when he would come out always with a bandage on his head.
Yeah, where are we at here? Let's see. Let's look at some notes. All right, you want to talk about anything in particular to start it off?
Let's start with talking about the show we went to. So we went to a live show at the Lita Chorus Center in Philadelphia.
It was Dynamite and Rampage 1025 we went, last week.
I mean, we didn't stay for Rampage.
We never do because we don't even watch it, so.
But, so what did you think of the show?
I didn't think it was that bad.
I mean, you were grumpy the entire time. You seemed like you didn't like anything. You thought the arena wasn't filled enough.
No, it was more filled than the ones they're at. You got to understand, I'm 45 years old. I have been to more wrestling with you in the last 2 years than I've ever been in my entire fucking life. And it's just tough, man. Like a Wednesday night. Like I always wish you would have liked SmackDown because they're on Friday. I can't go on a Wednesday.
Well, that's why I want to go see Collision because it's on a Saturday night, but they haven't come around here yet.
All right, well, if they come around for Collision, I will go on a Saturday. We need to go to the ECW arena, though. I want to take you to something there. Like the MLW is the one that comes in.
Yeah, it's got to be in the winter. I'm not going there when there's...
No, I'm not going there. That was the spring, and I'm not going there anymore. It's too goddamn hot. All right, so you want to talk about the show?
Yeah, so what matches were there? We had...
Christ, I can't even remember.
Fuck.
It's hard to remember when you're.
suck.
It's hard to remember when you're live as opposed to watching it at home.
Yeah, first a fight almost broke out when we were there. But,
with that asshole that stood up in the front?
Yeah.
That guy, that's all over Philly. I wish those 6 guys in front of us would have thrown his ass down the stairs.
I know you were saying that happens, but it was so annoying when we were there because these people sitting in front of us wouldn't fucking sit down after the entrances.
Yeah.
So I couldn't see the match. Again, it's okay to stand for the entrances.
Yeah,
But then you got to sit during the match.
Problem is, too, they don't let the kids or anything run up to the entryway anymore. They used to let you do that when I was a kid. You could run up to the railing, like touch the guys when they're coming out. They don't really do that with that ramp shit they got going on now. It must be harder to have people over. But I want to talk about one thing that I found very amusing. So amusing I wrote a note about it. The Dark Order gets an entrance, not only during the fucking commercial.
While they're fixing the...
Oh my God, they had the padding off and these guys are getting in. I'm like, I thought they were in the ring crew until they got there. I'm like, do we really have to put up with these guys? I mean...
They're basically jobbers.
Yeah, but I mean, I meant it when I said when Brody Lee died, they should have just had an extra large coffin. Like, Kamala's coffin from Survivor Series 92.
No, I mean, after Brody
throw him in there.
No, after Brody Lee died, they had him turn face, and they had some stuff with, like, them helping out Adam Page when he was...
Yeah, then they brought his kid in, was like -1 or something.
Yeah,
I mean, that's cute in the beginning, but...
He's still technically in the Dark Order.
Yeah, it's just go past that.
No, but again, they came out when they were changing out the ring pads.
I mean, that shows me right there, Tony, that you're wasting money on these guys. I mean, you're wasting money. I'm trying to see what else happened. I just talked about that. Swerve and Nana.
Oh, God, this wasn't racist.
What's the house? Whose house they break into?
Hangman's.
They broke into his house. 2 black guys broke into a white man's house. And I don't think that, I can't believe they got away with that.
Hey, where are the white women at?
It's not.
And Prince Nana, Swerve talks so well, Nana's not even needed. Not here, forget it.
No, because Nana's got like his own fans now because he's got such a persona.
What's he got, 2 of them? He's got 1 more than he had the other week?
No, well, because he's got like a dance that he does, and he's got the special, he's so...
Special Olympics?
He's very extravagant and exaggerated.
I can't stand him. I remember him from Ring of Honor. I could care less.
Okay, well, that's the thing. Okay, so the Dark Order, they fought Hook and Rob Van Dam.
Ugh.
Now, you say RVD's not good. I think
he was better than he was against Jack Perry. Jerk off Jack Perry.
Again, he can still do the 5-star frog splash and the kicks and stuff and putting the chair up in front of people and hitting kicks. Then we had the match between MJF and Juice Robinson, which you were complaining about the whole time.
Well, because, it's not, I don't know. It's just MJF is I love his work, and he's such a good heel, and he's such a good baby face, too. He's he can do it all. But they're making a fucking joke out of him with this. He's carrying the ROH tag belts by himself. Now he's got 2 matches again this pay-per-view, just like All In. And he's going to have a mystery partner for the tag match.
No, he won't.
That's what they said. It's going to be a mystery partner and him versus, the Ass Boys. The B team, the NW, the Bullet Club Gold B team.
What's the Virgil?
Yeah, Virgil. VK Wall Street, just roll them out. Too.
I still can't believe he thinks that he's responsible for black wrestlers.
Don't get me started.
He hangs out on the Hollywood.
Stay on this. I can't talk about these old losers when I was a kid. Stay on this. So,
WWF superstars.
How about Ric Flair being there? That was the headline of the night.
I couldn't believe it.
But I have a scary suspicion
that he's going to wrestle.
That this is going to be Sting's last match
against Flair.
It might be Flair's last match on this earth because it might kill him this time.
No. I bet you he's going to wrestle Darby. I think Flair's going to be here as a manager
or in his corner.
Yeah.
I hope so because the way they were talking the other night, I was he goes, I spent 35 years ago, woo! I was here starting off at the Stinger. And I'm please, God, don't let me tell you you're going to finish it off tonight because I can't deal with this. I didn't drive an hour to see this crap.
He can still talk, but...
Yeah, and also in the main event, we were talking when you got here, Danielson got hurt. He got an eye orbit injury.
That was a great match with Okada.
Oh, yeah, that was great. That was Okada and...
Orange Cassidy
versus Claudio and Danielson. That was good. I remember that.
And Claudio challenged Okada to a match. He said, anytime, anywhere.
I'd watch that.
They're both tall.
Oh, yeah. Well, he has 3 inches on Okada. Okada's tall for a Japanese guy, but he's only 6'3". Claudio's 6'6". But they said he's going to need surgery. He's going to miss the rest of the year. But that's tricky shit, that eye orbit stuff.
Well,
we've seen people come in the office where I work with blowout fractures, they call them. They take a while to heal. So
because Danielson, he's had an eye injury before, if you remember, in Ring of Honor.
He had a torn retina or detached retina?
Yeah.
It's another thing that's...
A detached retina against Takeshi Morishima.
You know how they have to fix that?
No, I really don't want to fucking hear about this.
Why? You got a thing with eyes?
Yes.
Oh, why don't you tell me that?
Yeah, they gross me out.
Yeah.
Okay,
all right.
fine. Tell me what they have to do.
They have to put a needle in your eye with a gas bubble, and the gas bubble takes the retina and guides it back. Because they tell you, and all you people listening out there, I know I'm getting off track here, but I work for an eye doctor. Yeah, that's what we always tell people. If you start seeing spider webs, you need to call the doctor. If you see a black veil come down, you waited too long. That ain't coming back. That's what a detached retina can be. Yeah. Your eye's no good. So,
Jesus fucking Christ.
But we just talked about the 2 matches at Full Gear for MJF there, right?
Yeah.
Tag match against the Guns and then with a mystery partner, and the other one's against Jay White. Jay White and him's going to be a classic. I think that's going to be good.
I didn't watch Collision, so I didn't see his match with Kenny Omega, which I have it to rant about.
Go ahead.
So fucking stupid.
Because who was ranting about it? Mark Henry. Somebody was about, why give that away on free TV to either a job kind of match or a no finish or you knew the title wasn't going to change hands because it's already booked for the 18th.
That could have been a paper Mikey Whipwreck versus 911.
Yeah, 911. He used to manage. He was Paul Heyman's bodyguard. He was the original guy I remember doing a choke slam long before Taker did it.
No, but like the thing is that could be a pay-per-view main event.
Any arena in the country, absolutely, in the world, maybe.
So why the fuck would they do it on Collision?
Because the guy who's booking is playing with his fucking dolls in the basement.
Whoa!
Yeah, that's what I used. I'm telling you, that's what I used to do when I was a kid. I wrote these things down that I thought would be cool. I didn't know about money or any of that shit.
But he doesn't. But you weren't booking actual matches.
No, I was not.
And you weren't an adult like this guy physically is. I don't know if he is mentally. And he tried being so cool, like he came out beforehand.
He does that every time. I really wish he wouldn't. Like, you know what I mean? Like a guy like that, yes, he's got a lot of money and he owns a company, but he does not command respect. Vince McMahon, for as big as he was and all that, tough guy too. Vince is an older kind of guy, an old school kind of guy.
He didn't
like
command respect. Vince did not command respect.
What are you talking about?
Oh
you
my
look
God.
at him. I didn't say you demand it. You command it. The guy commands it by the way he looks.
I just saw this thing about because do you know how they're doing this thing with who's wearing the devil mask that someone?
Yeah, we don't know who. We don't know
I'm
who it
seeing
is.
this article just now about why it has to be Jack Perry.
I swear to God, they shouldn't even bring him back. I think that sets a bad message if you bring him back.
Who do you think should be under the devil mask? Hornswoggle?
Somebody new, maybe?
Hornswoggle? Some people thought it was going to be Edge. But
I think they ought to just make it up that it was like Jay White or something.
No,
Jay White got attacked. Right?
Yeah, Jay White got attacked.
And but it doesn't mean he couldn't do it.
And it wasn't MJF because MJF's a face now. So, what they need...
I don't know. If it's Jack Perry, I'm like, what, are you going to give this guy a push? Because Punk snatched him when he came backstage?
Maybe it's CM Punk.
Maybe.
No, I'm joking.
That would be good. I'm begging for them to swerve us with this whole firing thing. I'm begging to be swerved, period. I just want to be fooled.
Which is why we're waiting for see who's under the devil mask, which I bet's going to happen at Full Gear.
Imagine if it is Punk.
I'll be pissed off.
Why would you be pissed off? They got you.
Because it sends a bad message.
Why? It's all bullshit then. They never fired him, it means. Doesn't send a bad message.
Then someone like that should be fired for what he did.
Nah, I don't agree.
He was in a backstage fight twice.
Okay. I admit the first one maybe got out of hand. But the second one, that little prick who's never going to make any kind of fucking money ever. I stress ever. You're never going to find a federation that's going to say, we need Jack Perry to be our top fucking guy. All 110 pounds of him. That little fuck said something on camera. Now stop laughing. You're in a business where your whole perception on camera is key. And it's magnified because of these JOs that write for the fucking dirt sheets that have to find out everything. So, I mean, if nobody knew, what?
No, I was going to ask what J.O. meant, but I figured out what it meant.
Oh, you kids don't know anything. But, that's what I'm saying, like, Punk's whole perception is on television. That guy pissed all over him. He pulled his pants down and urinated on him in front of 80
That doesn't give Punk the right to lunge at him.
Sure it does. He didn't beat him up. So what if he grabbed him? You never been in a fight where I know you've been in fights. I remember when you were in the junior high and everything. It was like every week. They got to separate. Just somebody separate them. That's it. Tempers flare. Happens on the sideline in football all the time.
Yeah, because those guys have fucking brain damage.
Yeah, but it's the same kind of thing.
And Punk, I think, has brain damage too. I think he has... Kevin Nash, and I agree with Kevin Nash on this. I think he's got mental problems.
Oh, maybe.
That he's very paranoid. He thinks everyone in the world's out to get him. He always thinks that he's fighting against the system when he is the fucking system, when Punk is the establishment, when he's the highest paid guy in the company.
Yeah. But also, he was backstage at that Impact Chicago taping. I think he just did that to keep himself relevant. He goes there, he's a horse's ass.
Who's he even going to wrestle?
I don't know.
Because I was seeing this thing.
And you heard PCO re-signed. Did we talk about that last week?
No, PCO re-signed?
Yeah, he re-signed. He's the first guy re-signed under the new, TNA. I guess old but new TNA banner.
But Sami Callihan didn't re-sign. He's leaving.
I hope he goes and bags groceries somewhere up on Route 209 in the Poconos.
I was seeing this thing about supposedly WWE has plans for Will Ospreay.
Yeah, I have a little bit about that here because
they want to make him the face of NXT Europe, which
He's too big for that.
Well, here's the thing.
He's your guy you bring in that beats Roman. If you get him, you give him the house. You give him the office, as they say in the old days. You come in, I'll give you whatever you want.
No, but here's
because there's nobody better than him on the planet.
No, but he shouldn't be. Well, I disagree with that. But
who do you think's better than him?
I don't think.
I'm not saying I'll disagree with you.
I think that there are people equal to him in skill, like Danielson and Omega. But I don't know if they're.
But they're older too.
Yes, but
especially Danielson, he's like 42 or something.
Yeah, but I wouldn't. Ospreay is amazing for his, but also I haven't seen stuff. I haven't seen his. But again, like were Danielson and Omega better when they were younger? Maybe.
Danielson, yes. Omega, I'm not saying was any better or worse, but his exposure was like, because he was in Ring of Honor back when Cornette was running the show there, and he remembered. He goes, he was a good wrestler. He goes, he just didn't have any kind of personality at the time.
But then he went to DDT, which I know you don't like, but
I don't dig all the comedy. It can't be all comedy.
I was seeing this thing. I know I didn't tell you about this. This happened months ago, but I didn't tell you about it because I kept forgetting. They did a show. They did a match on a train.
Where, on DDT?
Yeah, it was.
I saw a match in a hay truck.
Between who?
Barry Darsow and Dustin Rhodes. Uncensored 95.
You see when they did those terrible hardcore division matches in WCW. Terry.
Oh, that was such a blatant ripoff of the WWF at the time.
It was Terry Funk and
Hack Sabian
fighting on a farm, and Terry Funk got kicked by the horse.
I didn't even feel it.
What?
But the thing about Will Ospreay that you were talking about.
No, Will Ospreay's not going to WWE, I think.
But I heard, when I was reading notes during the week, what I wrote was it looks like he was going to choose Impact. He likes being there, but he said he's also open to relocating to the States for WWE. And then I heard all this stuff about a contract for him, possibly.
No, I think he's going to AEW.
I don't know, because
he's already appeared there a lot. They're going to give him the money.
Anybody's going to give him the money.
Impact won't. They don't have the money.
Well, how do you know?
We've talked about this. They don't have any fucking cash.
How do you know? Well, how do they stay open then? They have nobody there. They do these shows and they don't have any. They don't have any overhead. They're on YouTube, right?
No.
They're on the Impact channel?
No.
What are they on?
Access.
Oh, okay. So they have some kind of TV deal.
Kevin Sullivan versus Superfly Jimmy Snuka.
Oh, that's a good one. But speaking of where he's going to go, I don't know if he's going to go to AEW because apparently there's a lot of shit backstage going on. Jerry Lynn ran to Tony Khan's defense this week saying, now this is what he said, and I'm going to call bullshit on this right away because this is the opposite of what I think about Tony. Tony said he's going through extra stuff to try to stop leaks in the locker room. Bull fucking shit. The guy thrives on this stuff because he loves the Bucks and Meltzer and all these fucking people. That's bullshit. This is reasons like that is why I don't believe any of the stuff with Punk. Because I think he's full of shit. Just like I said he was going to be back after Brawl Out. So.
You don't believe in wrestling journalism.
It's not a real thing. It's not like you're writing about fucking somebody discovering a cure for cancer. It's not like Nobel Prize shit.
Dave Meltzer seeks out the truth.
Yeah, he doesn't print it, though. He might know it, but he don't print it. All these guys, they're all the same. Sap, all these guys. They do whatever's going to boost their viewership and hide behind the paywall. That's why he got people to pay for that stupid Toys for Tots shit that if you're a real wrestling fan, you wouldn't even have fucking cared about.
Including Cornette.
Cornette doesn't charge for it. He sells collectibles, but he doesn't have anything.
I meant that Cornette preaches to his audience. He plays to his audience.
Yeah, but if he didn't have an audience, he would be the exact same way. They're wondering if he's going to be on there tomorrow night because they're in Louisville. That's where they only sold the 2,000 tickets for the 22,000 seat arena. I'd love to see him there. Jeff Jarrett invited him, but I don't think he'll.
Jeff Jarrett! Double J! Jeff Jarrett!
Jeff Jerkoff. Jeff, Jerkoff.
Have you seen the thing where he hit Beetlejuice from the Howard Stern show with a guitar?
Probably.
What's my name? Slapnuts. That's Mr. Slapnuts to you.
In more Impact news, they actually talked about using Ace Steel in a match at Bound for Glory. I would have loved to see
Ace
that.
Steel was like a fucking meth head.
I know you don't like him.
Have you seen the match? It's from like 2002. It's him and Punk were in a tag team together for a very short time.
Second City Saints, yeah.
For a very short time over there, and then Punk joined the Gathering.
Yeah, with Raven and them.
And Julio De Niro and Mickey James.
Raven actually had some good matches over there. He had a really good looking DDT.
He used to date Mickey James, I heard, too. Punk.
Raven?
Punk.
Oh, or Punk?
Yeah.
I don't know, because I was going to say Raven's very popular with the ladies. But
Speaking of Punk, per SES Scoops, Bret Hart says CM Punk is his favorite wrestler of the last 30 years, closest thing to himself, and he thinks he's an innovator. That's quite a compliment coming from the best there is, the best there was, and best there ever will be.
Bret Hart's not the best there is, best there ever was, and best there ever will be. That's Bryan Danielson.
I would excellently execute you, like the excellence of execution used to.
Who's that?
That's his nickname, the Hitman, the excellence of execution.
I don't know. I've never seen a match of his that I thought, wow, that was so good.
What are you, fucking blind? You never seen a Bret Hart match that said he was good? That you thought was that good?
I don't know. Like, people say he's like a good technical wrestler.
He is.
But, like, he's not as good as other good technical wrestlers I've seen.
Well, Christ, half the shit you're watching now, these moves weren't even around yet. Nobody did the cattle mutilation or even the crippler crossface when I'm talking about when Bret was in his prime in the mid-90s. Benoit wasn't even using that move back then. Ring of Honor Final Battle coming at you 12:15. Only on Honor Club. Can you believe that shit?
Wait,
They're only going to put ROH Final Battle on Honor Club, which means nobody's going to buy it. So.
well, I don't have the cert. Well,
I don't have it either.
Well, because here's what I think they should do.
It's horse shit. I wouldn't pay for that.
Well,
to watch a bunch of jobbers against AEW guys?
Well, because we know that AEW is eventually going to be going to HBO Max, right?
Yeah, that's what they're saying.
Well, I think
in 24.
Well, because I think when that happens, they should get rid of Honor Club and move Ring of Honor over there, too.
Why don't you just get rid of Ring of Honor? You can still own the library and do what Vince did. They can run old shows on Max, but you unify the titles. Maybe you bring McGinnis back and clear.
No,
I know because
he's
got hepatitis. You can't bleed. But I don't know.
No, because it's not even that he can't bleed. And, like he can't.
Well, they don't want him to bleed. Nobody's going to work with him if he bleeds. You got a chance of getting hepatitis.
No, because it's even just a chance of bleeding. Like they won't take that chance, obviously, because they can get sued if the guy gets hepatitis.
Sure. There was a rumor back in the 90s, I remember that Lex Luger had AIDS, and somebody told me, I was like, dude, I watched him bleed buckets on Nitro. I hope that ain't true.
Did he?
No, he didn't. He's still alive. I mean, he should for, what
He's
he did.
in a wheelchair.
What he did and all. Well, that's karma for killing your girlfriend. But Scotty 2 Hotty also is now an AEW producer. I read that.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I guess it's a good thing. I mean, it doesn't matter. Just because he wasn't a top-tier guy doesn't mean he
Did
can't.
you think he was good?
Nah, not particularly. They were more comedy duo for me. But they were good in the light.
Rikishi.
Him and Brian Christopher was the other guy.
And then Brian Christopher was Brian Lawler in TNA.
Well, that's Jerry's son.
He has a really terribly so bad it's good storyline with X-Pac where they fight over his girlfriend.
There's a lot of weird circumstances about his death, too.
Yeah.
I watched the thing about Dark Side of the Ring. Jerry Lawler was talking about how it looked like he committed suicide in his cell, and like the injuries on his bones are not consistent with somebody.
So he got murdered?
They think so, maybe. He got into a lot of trouble.
Why was he in jail?
Drugs, probably.
Okay.
I can't remember.
What else were we wanted to talk about?
NXT Halloween Havoc drops in the ratings and the key demographic. That was Lexus King's big debut. They really went hard to try to make him look like his old man, too.
Okay,
bleaching his hair and shit.
I didn't see it.
I just saw a picture of him. But they're like, for having a gimmick where he tries to separate himself from his father to make him look just fucking like him. I mean, he looks
Is he
more
still
like
a shitty wrestler?
Well, I didn't see it, but I would imagine so. Peroxide in your hair.
He still probably can't talk either.
Less does not a good wrestler make.
The only good promos he had were the ones that MJF cut against him.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, MJF could have a good, promo off with a bag of grapes, dude. I mean, he's great. So, we go back to, I talked about it a little bit last week. I got pictures of it for this week. The Battle of the Belts, 8 unflattering attendance. There was 4 rows of fucking people there.
Well, Battle of the Belts sucks. People just left, probably.
Well, that's why. Well, yeah, I saw it during Joe whenever he was out there. But Battle of the Belts is a take on an old Championship Wrestling from Florida special. They used to have 1, 2. I think I have 1 and 2 in my collection. But those were good, though. That was the Road Warriors were in it. Harley Race, Ric Flair, Lex Luger.
These aren't good.
No, none of these are any good. It's a lot of them. Was Ring of Honor titles held by AEW guys. Who cares?
Christian was very good when we saw him in Philadelphia, as always.
Yeah, what did he say? Doesn't look like Ric Flair, but it looks like you got a black liver and a suit and gold chains up there.
That's the only gift you... No, but then I watched the video on YouTube. You can see, like Flair is laughing when Christian's insulting him. He has to stop himself from laughing.
He probably doesn't know where he is either, you know.
Someone had to help him get down from the ring.
Well, he's old, man. He's got a lot of... I swear to God, he better not get in the ring. I'm very nervous that we're going to have to see Flair and Sting. The rematch you never wanted from Clash of the Champions 1 in 1988. You know how long ago 1988 was?
Or from Starrcade 90.
I was 9 fucking years old.
Maybe he'll be the Black Scorpion again.
Oh, please, not that.
That costume.
The only thing worse than that match was Dick the Bruiser as a special guest referee. He was old and
like
fat.
Popeye.
It's like he didn't even want to get down to count. He was like the cat with his foot. And he was actually really wrestling. He was checking to make sure shoulders are down. I'm like, dude, it's fake. You realize that, right?
Dick the Bruiser. And then there was a whole thing where, like, the four horse... Wait, is that Sandman?
Yeah, that's right when he switched over to being the cigarette smoking.
Is that woman?
Yeah, that's Nancy Benoit. R.I.P. I told you, if Chris just would have killed her, he'd be in the Hall of Fame. Because anybody who's been married for more than 10 minutes can picture killing their wife. You don't kill a child, though.
Oh, yeah, I have a question.
Just leave him somewhere.
In the last episode, you put
he's smart. He'll find his way back.
You put a GIF on at the beginning of the episode of the guy taking a poop. Where was that from?
Oh, I don't know. Somebody had sent me that. It was on my phone.
Because I was laughing so hard at that.
But that's when I was talking about my stomach problems. Because of the Phillies. I mean, obviously, the Phillies are out now. So, I mean.
The toilet was breaking apart.
I have so many of those.
The guy's foot came out of his shoes.
Because that's when people start texting me at work. Like, where are you? I'm like, pooping. And I send them that, you know. So, you know.
Sandman, he's got the... Oh, wait, but he doesn't have the...
cane stick. You know where the cane came from, right?
Where?
They had a Singapore caning match because of that kid years ago that got caught.
Cane Dewey, right?
No. Well, yeah, that was later. That was with Mick Foley. But somebody had to sign up. No, the Singapore cane, the whole thing came up about that kid that was in Singapore when I was in high school that got caught vandalizing a car. That was the actual capital punishment. You got like 15 lashes with a bamboo cane. That's why they started doing it. And he got him, too.
Who's that woman? Who's
Who the
next
fuck
here?
is that?
Who wants to go fireman?
Who the hell is that?
Someone you don't know?
I'm starting to think it's... Oh my God, who is that?
It's a black guy.
Oh, it's like Tommy Cairo or something.
Who's Tommy Cairo?
He was another early ECW guy. But anyway, speaking of news you won't care about, Ryback.
Yeah.
Rye bread. Or as Big E Langston was on Twitter, Rye Black. Ryback says Vince McMahon owes him money, and WWE is the worst place to work payoff-wise. I haven't been able to find any more information on that, but I got to look into it.
What do you mean payoff-wise?
Well, when you get paid off for when you pay.
Well, I mean, yeah, Vince probably treats his workers terrible.
But I never heard anybody call it payoff now. It's not like you get your payoff after the matches.
No, but also because you don't get health insurance and you don't get paid.
None of them do. You don't get your taxes paid either. You're an independent contractor.
In AEW, you aren't.
Well, I don't know.
You get health insurance over there.
How do you know?
Guys
talk about it? I'd be surprised. I mean, they've been trying to go for a union for years. I remember Jesse Ventura.
Yes.
Yeah, Hogan. He got Hogan to admit it under oath, too.
Who's that woman? She's a bit hotter.
I don't know. That might be Peaches, his old...
Who's Peaches?
That was Sandman's old manager. Was his wife, Lori Fullington.
How many women are there in ECW?
I love the ECW women. They were all sluts.
No.
Who is?
Not all of them. What about Beulah?
She dressed slutty. It's good enough for me.
No, because Beulah was with Raven, and then she was with Dreamer. And then there was the
But
thing
Tommy's really married to her. Though.
I know, but in the storyline, she was
pregnant. It's not yours, it's Tommy's. And then he beat up Stevie Richards for some reason. Stevie was always getting beat up by Raven.
Stevie Richards.
Dancing Stevie. Stevie takes it up the ass. Doo-dah, doo-dah. That's the best frickin' taunt ever. I could hear it on my ECW Holiday Hell 95 tape. I was hysterical. It was on the WWE channel. They couldn't even take it off. But Paris, apparently being discussed for a 2024 WWE Premium Live event. They haven't been to Paris since they used to go there when I was young.
I was reading stuff about that. Apparently that's their new business model. They're going to do shows like internationally all the time now.
Well, Vince was saying that he thinks Saudi Arabia is their home now. That's what he said. That he was there for the Nagano Tyson Fury fight with The Undertaker.
He should go eat a bat.
No, to
You'd
quote
eat a whole bag full of dicks.
no, to quote Cyberpunk 2077, go eat a dick. Seriously.
He's a bag of dicks.
Seriously.
He's not even involved anymore.
Seriously, because they apparently make more money from the payouts from the Saudi government than they do.
Do you know how much
combined.
that they were talking about them buying it originally? They have more money than anybody. The Saudi, whatever the fund it's called.
Saudi Development Fund.
Yeah, Saudi Development Fund.
Because they have blood money from oil and funding terrorists.
Probably. I wouldn't be surprised. So I was asking you this earlier. Whatever happened to Cash Wheeler about his gun charge? Have been anything else talking about?
Trials take a long time. Who knows?
He's still on TV? Or they're taking time off anyway, aren't they? Because they lost the
They're
big
not
bill.
wrestling, but they've been running out a lot.
It's not for a little bit. One of our favorites, Tessa Blanchard, won the CMLL Women's International Grand Prix down in Mexico. Just read about that the other morning when I was.
Are you going to be putting in the cockfighting sound effects in post production now?
For that? No, I don't think so. Don't talk about what I do in post production. You don't expose the business while we're exposing the business.
If you're going to put in the racist Mexican sound effects you put in when we talk.
I have all sorts of new racist sound effects. Okay. Or just tasteless sound effects, or
like
funny.
Right on.
Fred Darcy. I have actually Jackie the Joker. That's what pussy doesn't stick. Alex Haberstone, you know who he is?
Yeah.
Requested his release from MLW. He's a free agent that will go under the wire because a lot of people I don't know about him.
No, because I always hear about
Great matches with Jacob Fatu,
Fatu.
the other Anoa'i cousin.
who's not in.
The only one that's not in the
Well,
WWE.
the reason he's not in the WWE is because I think he's been to prison.
Okay.
So maybe that's why.
A wrestler that's been to prison. What, is that an anomaly now? That doesn't happen?
Well, I don't know. Maybe because they went.
No Ken Pateras and Mr. Saito's out there these days?
Mr. Saito went to prison.
You never heard that story?
No.
Oh, okay. Story time, folks. Early 80s, AWA. I've heard this story from Patera himself, Bobby Heenan, who was out there. They were going to go, they were in like Denver or something, right? And Bobby Heenan said, some of the guys were staying, like he left and went to the next town, but they were going to go to Waukesha, Wisconsin the next night. He goes to something and they're back in the rooms hanging out. The fabulous ones, Stan Lane and Steve Kern, come in. They got a bag of burgers. And
a bag of burgers.
Yeah, they just went to like Wendy's or something, got a bag of burgers. So Patera and Saito were hungry, so they went over and they had just closed. It was like 10:02. They were not like, come on, no, we're so hungry. He goes, I'll give you $30 for all those burgers. This is like early 80s. That's a lot of money for that. He goes, I'll give you $50 for those burgers. He goes, no, it says we have to throw them away. So he got mad. He went up and picked a 30-pound boulder up and threw it through the fucking window. Well, they called the cops, and Patera, who was like world's strongest man, had bleach blonde hair. He wasn't hard to pick out. But, so they go to the hotel.
These guys are fucking crazy.
Whatever, probably on steroids, too.
It's like the Macho Man Waffle House story.
But no, this is worse, though, because these guys went to jail for like 2 years for this. So, they go to the hotel. They go to the front desk. Patera, where is he? They're like, he's in that room over there. So they go over. Saito, who barely speaks English, says,
so
no.
who actually threw the boulder?
Patera. But Saito gets involved in a minute. He says he's not here. So they go back to the front desk. The guy goes, no, I saw him. They're full of shit. So now they got probable cause. So they tell Saito, let him in. And Saito goes to get to the door. The guy stops. But Patera's behind the door. He winds up decking. They attack the cops. And the one was a girl. And who happened to be like the daughter of a coroner or something. So he winds up. The one guy went to get his gun. Saito stopped him. He didn't want him shooting Patera. So now you're interfering with a police officer. Do you know if he would have just said, I threw the boulder, it would have been a $500 fucking fine. That's it. And because of all this bullshit, they went to jail. Hey, Vince McMahon, though, when Patera got out, went to the WWF, came back, he worked it into an angle and all that.
Well, I mean, also, Vince McMahon is believed to have been paid off the police and interfered with the investigation into
Snuka.
With Snuka to make sure he didn't go to prison. Did you know he couldn't read?
Who, Vince or Jimmy?
Jimmy.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Like with his contracts, he couldn't read them. He just trusted Vince and he just signed his name.
He would go, you think the Superfly is fucked up? Then he would go into the stall and go, no, the Superfly is fucked up. Did you ever hear stories about him before he killed her, even that Nancy Argentino? There was something where they were buck naked in a hallway of a hotel, and he beat up like 5 cops because he was a monster. He was like a rugby player in Fiji. He was like a Mr. Fiji bodybuilder and everything. It's a shame, like, that ended, like, he was going to be on a babyface run at that because he was a heel forever.
It just makes me think of in Cyberpunk 2077, they have, like, cyber psychos.
You're obsessed with that game.
Which are people who, like, get, like, implants and they go crazy. So they have Max Tack, which is like the SWAT team they have to send in. They have to send in a bunch of cops.
That would be Jimmy, yeah.
Yeah, that's what it feels like with all these wrestlers.
From when I was a kid, they were insane. I have to thank you for getting me that game for Christmas the one year, too, because I didn't even ask for that, and I enjoyed what I saw of it. I don't have any...
Yeah, but you thought Jackie Wells was going to rape
I was very uncomfortable in the car ride at the beginning of the game. I've never been that way in virtual form, where I thought a person in the character might sexually assault me.
It's like that thing in the Boondocks. They had Harry Dubois, their neighbor, where he can't have sex with his wife because he's got a phobia of being raped in a prison shower.
The black guy that's married to the white woman?
Yeah.
And has the little mixed girl?
Yeah.
I don't remember that one. I have all those episodes. I don't remember.
He's afraid of being raped in a prison shower.
So what does he want to have sex with his wife? I mean...
Because he's worried...
A woman raping you in a shower might be nice.
And then there's the thing...
Could be wonderful.
Where he gets possessed by Colonel Stinkmeaner.
Yes, that's the one where
Uncle
he comes
Ruckus
in.
Has to exercise him.
We can't do this on the air.
I know.
I can't. There's too many N-words. I can do a good impression, but I'm not doing it. But anyway, Tabby Sitch, you know about her, right?
Of course I do. The biggest glow down in history.
Ooh, not a glow up, a glow down. She
Well, you see what she used to look like. You were alive back when she was around.
Yeah, she was hot.
Most downloaded woman of 1996.
Yeah, that's what they say. But her lawyer is seeking a lesser sentence in that manslaughter DUI because saying she's got mental problems.
Because she's ugly?
Yeah, because she's ugly? Because she did porn? That's okay?
Wait, she did porn?
Yeah, I saw one of them years ago. It's not even...
What year?
I don't know. 80 years on those sites.
Wait, that's what I know. God,
just Google Tabby Sitch Fox or something. I mean, just Google it. Incognito, obviously. Oh, God.
God, it looks like Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair.
There is, oh my God. I forget which one of my friends sent me that.
Probably Kevin.
No, it was somebody. It wasn't either of those guys. But it was like she had a Royal Rumble. And the one guy was Flair in high heels. And I thought it fucking was him. I wouldn't put it past him to be in a porno. Woo! But anyway.
Hugo, who made this coat? Hugo Boss Armani?
All right, well, that goes for my news of the week. What do you got? What else you want to talk about?
How much time do we have left?
We got a good bit. We got about 23 minutes.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, what are you talking about? Yeah, so Full Gear's coming up, right?
10 WCW wrestlers whose matches bore fans to tears. Let's see this. Craig Pittman.
Oh my God, Sergeant Craig Pittman. He was a tough bastard, but he was...
DK Wall Street.
Mike Rotunda. I always enjoyed his mat work because he's a Syracuse University Hall of Fame. That guy couldn't get out of his own way. He's huge though. I saw him at Wildwood Convention Hall. He's 7 foot fucking 7. Big.
Greg Valentine.
His match is never good. You ever look at Greg? He looks like a female gym teacher in the 80s.
Close to the Charlotte player.
Charlotte's attractive at least.
No, she's like a gym teacher.
So, I'd love to go to that gym. Go ahead.
Dave Taylor.
Squire Dave Taylor. He's from the Blue Blood.
Whoa, with
Lord Steven Regal, Earl Robert Eaton, and Squire David Earl. Like Earl.
I know,
Duke of Earl. Yeah.
But wasn't
that was after the other two left. Yeah. He just teamed with Regal. I don't say out of name. They might have been the new
Mike Enos.
Oh God, he's one of the wrecking crew. Mike Enos and Wayne Bloom were like the second to last AWA tag champions. Then they went to the WWF as the Beverly Brothers.
Scott Norton.
Yeah, but his ring work didn't really, like, if you wanted to see somebody kill, man, I mean, that's Scott Norton, your guy.
Big Ron Studd.
Who the fuck is that? Let me see it. Got a picture? Don't ring a bell. Must not have been any good.
Vincent.
Is that him?
Vincent.
He never wrestled. He never wrestled one fucking time.
His artist Ted DiBiase and Hulk Hogan. He wrestled a lot on the B shows.
Well, we never saw those. We just had, I didn't even have Saturday night. We didn't have TBS back then. I used to have Nitro, and that was it.
Nitro on TBS?
That was on TNT.
Oh.
That's why the Collision logo looks like Nitro. Just totally ripped it off. The same channel.
He even going through multiple name changes. Curly Bill, Shane, Mr. Jones.
Curly Bill, I think, is when he was with the West Texas Rednecks.
Who's the West Texas Redneck?
It was Kurt Hennig, which he was not from Texas, Barry Windham, and Bobby Duncombe Jr.
Larry Zbyszko.
Larry was never. Look, Larry, the whole world was behind Larry in Star Team 97.
And he wrestled
Bischoff. That was a great. That was the only match we were looking forward to, even more than Sting and Hogan.
Like, so, where did Bischoff learn how to wrestle?
He's not. He's doing kicks. He's a martial artist. He's a black belt. He's a tough bastard. Make no mistake about it, Bischoff.
Bischoff, I'll turn the camera off, and I'll be naked when you come back. That's Flair.
Sure. When he was losing it?
What was the thing when he was running the show from an insane asylum?
Yeah, he would cross over out and he'd be like, "Little League, woo!" He'd say the style of my bathroom in a bathroom and dancing while he's on the payphone.
There was a thing where David Flair was getting married. This is all late, like WCW 2000 stuff, which I think was so bad.
I think I stopped watching in '99.
There was the thing with, I remember it was, they were having David Flair and Stacey Keebler were getting married. And the thing was that they had to call off the wedding.
Oh yeah, I remember hearing about this.
Stacey was pregnant, but it wasn't David's kid. And they dropped the storyline, but it was going to be revealed that it was Rick's kid.
They did the same thing where they got, who got pregnant in WWF at that time? Terry Runnels. And then I remember Jim Cornette talking about it because he was on the booking committee and Russo brought it up. And he said, well, where's the payoff?
You can't
goes,
have
what payoff? He goes, where's the payoff to the angle? He goes, when she doesn't have the fucking baby? Where's the payoff? So they threw her off the ring and she hit her stomach on the apron. So
and then they had, it's like in Family Guy, they can't have Bonnie be pregnant. Like they can't ever be pregnant for 10 seasons. You know, like in Family Guy with Bonnie. But
I used to call my wife that because she was always pregnant. I called her Bonnie.
Which?
This one, the current one.
Wait, really?
Yeah. Every time I turned around, she was pregnant. We had 2 kids within a couple of years between us.
Yeah. This is more 2.9999999.
This is more 3.0.
No, it's not.
This is more version 3. She's version 1, like Matt Hardy. There's only one.
Dude, I can slam a tornado. I can piss up a tree.
That's the best song ever.
What
else you got there for me?
What?
What else you got on tap here? You got anything else?
What was the thing the last ever done? Wait, is that Rhino?
No, that's Pitbull 1 versus the Tasmaniac.
Taz looks like shit.
Well, see, he was the Tasmaniac in International Championship Wrestling, not the PAFO-owned one. The one that was up in Boston that actually gave birth to that Century Wrestling Alliance I was telling you about.
Because there's this other thing I was reading about, like these like weird matches on the indies that you didn't know that happened. You know, like one of them, you know, like on the list was like Orlando Jordan versus the Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah, that was in Spain. Yeah, I remember looking that up. That was so big. I mean, Warrior was still in good shape, but
he couldn't do moves in the 80s.
He couldn't do moves in the 80s. Yeah, he couldn't. He was blown up when he got to the ring. You watch him and Hogan at WrestleMania 6. He had this Warrior logo painted on his chest.
It melted off.
By the time they start, it's gone.
I know. At least Kevin Nash could do 6 moves. Well, 5 including the hair flip.
Yeah, but putting people, it was 6 including the hair flip. We couldn't think of the other one last week. But if you start comparing somebody to an Ultimate Warrior, Kevin Nash, I mean, they got to get out of the business. I mean, they're not doing it.
Orlando Jordan.
Orlando Jordan was so minute. It was unbelievable.
No, but one of these matches, it was in 2000 or 2001. It was CM Punk versus Rey Mysterio versus Eddie Guerrero.
Oh, that's at like the inaugural Ring of Honor at time. Eddie Guerrero and Rey are on the inaugural Ring of Honor show.
Well, because they went Well, because like Eddie Guerrero went.
Eddie was like blacklisted for a little bit. He had to go on the Indies, and he came back.
Well, because he got fired for his drug problems.
Well, and eventually killed him because he stopped doing drugs. But that steroids, man, it puts a weight on your heart.
But but he went there. He was in World Wrestling All Stars.
Yeah.
Which
I'm actually not going to yell at you for bringing that dog shit up.
Which we have to mention every week.
It's like they sending you a check or something.
I remember one of the weirdest names of a match was that it was Buff Bagwell was there, where they had a Puff. It was him. And I forget who was maybe it was Jeff Jarrett. He invented his own stipulation: a Puffles, Whips, and Buff match.
Puffles? What's a puffle?
I don't know, but it was called Puffles.
Do you know? You don't even know you said, right?
No, but it's just what he said the name of the match was.
Something like a puffy shirt or something.
But it was something that they did where they had a bunch of women on the outside with like belts to like, and so it's like a lumberjack match.
But the women beat you with belts?
Yeah.
Oh God, I'd be throwing myself out of the ring.
Throw you back, and then they throw you.
I used to pay good money for a woman to do that to me. These guys are just getting it done for free?
And then because the reason I thought that was making me think so Rhino, seeing I told you the stuff from Impact, Rhino is so morbidly obese now.
He was never in any kind of shape. They had to close ECW.
Why?
You watched those last couple of shows where he was coming up because he was the last champion. He was pile driving women through the fucking table, onto the concrete, off the apron. And there was no mats. Only if they were in New York, because it was New York Athletic.
ECW never had mats.
No, they had to do it in New York. It was a rule for the State Athletic Commission. It's the only time they had to do it.
Nah, not in
But in the arena, they didn't have it on South Philly. But they didn't have any mats when I was a kid. They didn't have any. When I was a little kid, they didn't have any guardrails. They had a rope. I think that guy stabbed Blackjack Mulligan all those years ago. I think he got close enough. You wouldn't get able to get close now. You see how many guards were down by the railing when we went to AEW?
It's always the same guys, too.
Back in the old days, you would go to places where the cops didn't really care what happened to you because they got to live there. You know, they would put like 3 cops in there. Some of them, Bobby Heenan used to talk about, some of these small places, they would have like American Legion cops. These were like 90-year-old men wearing like a bucket hat and like a bat. They didn't know what they were doing.
It's like at the It's like at the when the Rolling Stones played at Altamont.
Oh, with
they hired the Hell's Angels to be security.
That's a shame, that whole story.
The Hell's Angels.
Nan and Pop went to go see that movie when they were pregnant with your mother.
Yeah, my mom. Yeah.
Nan said she slept through the whole thing because she was just so tired being pregnant. And it was probably she was probably the summertime. What are you doing? The Public Enemy theme?
Yeah. No, it's also Justin Roberts' theme.
Yeah, because they played at the online. I was looking for Public Enemy, but dumb me, they're both dead.
Because apparently, like,
I can't stand Justin Roberts. I never liked him.
Why?
I don't think he's a good ring announcer.
Who do you think is a good ring announcer?
There's only one ring announcer when it comes to the world of wrestling
Who?
ever. Howard Finkel.
Who?
Howard Finkel.
Who's
you
Howard
say
Finkel?
who? I'll throw you off this broadcast. You know who fucking Howard Finkel is?
No.
The voice of the WWF for like 100 fucking years.
Like Jack Tunney.
No, Jack Tunney was just a figurehead president.
Makes me think of
But Jack was an actual promoter from Toronto.
Because you saw the stuff when they had Ricky Steamboat was on Collision for a bit, right?
Yeah, they were originally it was going to be Punk
rep.
and Ricky Starks, and then it wound up being Danielson and Ricky Starks.
He was the special.
But there was
referee.
news that it was going to be Steamboat in the match.
No, that
But
was
he's
never
got
gonna happen.
Issues.
That doesn't seem that way. He seems pretty aware of what's
Oh
going
yeah,
on.
because those promos he did when he was signing the contract, they made a whole lot of fucking sense.
Because before that, like a year ago,
Sounded like a drunk at a slip and slide.
before that, he was in. He was there against Jericho. He was he was like a special ring. He was a special timekeeper. And there was a thing where Cool Hand and Daddy Magic came up. Who's the
Who
guy?
the fuck are they? That's that Jason Light.
Cool Hand, Angelo Parker, and Daddy Magic, Matt Menard, former members of the Jericho Appreciation Society, where they went up to Ricky Steamboat and he went, "Oh!" and he knocked him over.
Unbelievable. I don't know what to make of it.
No, because there was a thing where he was the special referee, and then Ricky Starks started beating him with a belt. And Jim, I think it was JR may have been on. There, he's an old man. What are they doing to
stop
him?
the damn match.
I hate JR. He's so old.
Oh, you know what we didn't talk about?
What?
Saturday is Crown Jewel.
Oh, I don't give a shit.
Why not?
Why should I care? It's WWE.
I like it when it's on in the afternoon. At least I can check it out. I can sit there with the baby.
They're going to have like LA Knight and...
Well, now there's actual talk picking up that he might win. But I don't believe it because I've never seen anything from Crown Jewel that I liked. That was where the other year they hit Taker and Goldberg.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. That was fucking awful.
The Brothers of Destruction versus Triple H and Shawn Michaels.
Again, another fucking awful
They
move.
did a thing where... That's the thing where Shane tore both his quads. Oh, JT Smith, the Italian Stallion.
Yeah. Black Italian.
Yeah, Shane tore
Wait, but this is supposed to be an 8-man elimination. It's the Public Enemy, Mr. Hughes, and Shane Douglas versus JT Smith and the Bruise Brothers. But who's the fourth guy? I guess we'll find out in a minute.
Nah. No, because then there was the no, but like because and they have the 5 women match for the title, but they have to have it. But in Saudi Arabia, the women have to completely cover their skin for the shows because.
So they're wrestling in burqas?
No, not like burqas.
Because I wouldn't even have them out there. I'd be like, forget it.
Not like
stupid.
burqas, but like Becky Lynch wrestled a match there, and like it was like a Bruce Lee like yellow and black.
Oh yeah, that was really
thing.
cool looking. Yeah, from Game of Death.
No, but they have to wear like they can't show any skin. Now, of course, the men they can wear whatever
That's
they
such
want.
a bunch of bullshit. You know, I deal with Middle Eastern people like that at work that come in and they deal with women at my job about things and they don't want to deal with them. So now I have to deal with them and I'm like, well, why won't you talk to this person?
Well,
they're like, well, I'd rather deal with a man. I'm like, well, this man doesn't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Well, because,
so if you want to get treated right, go talk to the woman.
The first 2 years they were doing shows, women couldn't be in match. They didn't have women's matches at all.
And the one year Sami Zayn couldn't go because he's part Syrian, right? He couldn't go.
Yeah, he's not allowed.
He is now because he went to the last one.
MVP's not allowed because he was in prison at one point and he converted to Islam, but now
well, if there is some kind of prison issue, it's hard to leave the country.
No, but he says that he's an atheist now, and in Saudi Arabia's fundamentalist Islam, and in the Quran it talks about people who turn away from Allah should be killed. So. MVP's not allowed in.
That's a real thing about leaving the country when you got a
record.
record.
The Usos, they can't even go to Canada.
Well, Jim Cornette can't go to Canada.
I knew.
Too many assault. I think that's bullshit, though. He got a lot of assault charges back in the day where he was fucking defending himself. Like, if you hear the stories about him in Houma, what is it? Houma, Oklahoma? Is it Houma, Louisiana, or Houma, Oklahoma? I forget. But he managed Dr. Death and Hercules Hernandez. He goes into people... He goes, like 30 people charged the ring. He goes, 30 people against Doc and Herc. It was about even. He goes, they were chucking people left and right.
Didn't he have like a football
He had
helmet?
Doc's football helmet and anything. He goes, anytime somebody got near me, I just fucking laid him out with it.
But wasn't there a thing with Hercules Hernandez, is that the same as the WWF Hercules?
He was Hercules Hernandez originally.
The Jaws Road! Billy Jack Hayes, I'm taking you down!
That's another good match. I mean, bloody-wise. See, I still have the same feeling about a lot of these things when I was
The
younger.
match over the full Nelson. That's the, and then Hogan had a match with him on, like, Primetime Wrestling or something, and that's where he cuts the promo. Yeah, with Hercules. That's where he cuts the promo. I've been in the Garden of Eden with my main squeezy, and I'm looking at the sky. It looks like a Greek god. It looks like the real Hercules. But Hercules, this is where the power lies. And he points to his hand.
What's the big deal about his hand?
It's like, this is where the power lies, like his fist or something. I don't know. He's probably on...
You know, we never listened to those promos, right?
He's probably on...
Honestly, that's why we didn't know the Ultimate Warrior sucks like shit.
He's probably... No, his promos are hilarious.
Castricity. Hogan.
The one where he's talking...
Down the cockpit door.
Assume the control.
Christian does it the best. If you watch Self-Destruct of the Ultimate Warrior, Christian does... Because he's talking about when him and Edge were kids watching this. Because they were at WrestleMania 6, the two of them.
Assume the controls.
Hogan.
Take the plane into a nosedive. Hulk Hogan.
Awful. It's even worse. It's worse when I hear you do it again.
No, because it's supposed to be the whole thing about, like, will you sit and resign your fate, or will you take control?
Yeah, wow.
Who actually
Vince took control and fired his loser ass.
Why did he get fired? For no showing, right? Or didn't he try to extort money?
No, he came. It was SummerSlam 91. It was the match made in... You know anything about SummerSlam 91?
Is that...
Match made in heaven, match made in hell.
No.
Savage and Elizabeth get married in the ring, which they were already really married, and they were on their way to divorce court at this point. And the match made in hell is Hogan and the Warrior versus Sergeant Slaughter. Now, this is the Iranian turncoat, Sergeant Slaughter. Colonel Mustafa, who was the Iron Sheik, and General Adnan, their manager. And it was a handicap match with Sid Justice as the referee. In the end, the Warrior chases them out, and they went on a count out. Sid and Hogan pose in the ring together. Sid was like going to be anointed as the next Hogan. But Warrior told him he wanted more money, Vince, or he wasn't going out. So he said, fine. And he went out, he came back, and he fired him when he walked through the curtain. And then he brought him back in April when he was putting Hogan on the shelf because of the steroid trial.
But then there was a thing where didn't Warrior go to WCW for that little bit? That they have the Halloween thing. Where
that was later. That was 98.
Where like Hogan sees him in the mirror and no one else sees him.
Did you ever see the Halloween Havoc match?
And he sends him the head in the box.
So stupid.
He's like stalking.
When I would tell you, we switched over to that when it was on, when Warrior made his debut. And 2 minutes into that interview, we didn't care anymore. He talked for like... I mean, I've been to conferences where guys talk. I mean, there's infomercials that were shorter. The guy was trying to sell something. But, like, God, he's a perfect kind of guy who would have been good as, like, he needed, like, he could have been a good guy and had a good heater, like a guy bringing heat, like a Heyman or something like that. He should have never talked. But that was Vince's infatuation with the big guys.
Vince still has an infatuation with the big guys, especially if they're Samoan. Look at Roman Reigns.
Yeah, he tried to. It's like by happenstance that Roman finally made it. He tried for so long to get him over. It took him 5 or 6 years.
Well, it's because he got him. Well, the reason he got over is because they made him a heel.
And there was nobody else to fucking hate or root for. I mean, like, there was nobody else at the top that was any good.
Roman's not good.
No, but...
He does one move where he goes, ooh, ah!
He jerks his hand off and then he punches you.
No, but and he's got that...
What did I call Orange Cassidy's the not-so-Superman punch?
And then he's got that stupid fucking glove, which he wears because it makes his fist sound louder.
At least he doesn't wear that, like, tactical Big Boss Man vest anymore that looked like, with the 2 R's, it looked like a Spider-Man logo.
Well,
never was a fan.
Well, because that was the Shield thing when they wore the vests.
Now he looks like a Samoan gangster party. So.
Well, because they're the bloodline.
That was a tag team in ECW.
Well,
Samoan gangster party. It was Umaga and Rosie. It was 2 guys.
Umaga was in ECW?
Yeah, he was named somebody else, but... So...
Is Umaga in the Anoa'i family?
Yeah, he's, it's like Rakishi's brother, I think.
God, there's so many.
His name was Ekmo Fatu or something.
No, but, like, not... But then there's also a lot of Samoan wrestlers who aren't in the Anoa'i family, like Samoa Joe and stuff, but Dakota Kai and other people.
David Tua, the famous heavyweight boxer, is actually in the Anoa'i family. But.
Well, The Rock's only in it by marriage, but...
Well, yeah, you know, his mother is... He's not in it by marriage. His mother's in Anoa'i.
Oh, yeah, I forgot, but...
Rocky Johnson's in the family by marriage, because he married. You don't say the kid is. The kid's... That's like saying you're a Moor by marriage. No, your mother's has the same last name as me. So.
God damn it, you're saying my... Don't say my name on the show.
I said your last name's Moore. They'll think we're black, for Christ's sake. Nobody white has his last name.
I've been saying that joke for years.
It's true. Nobody laughs at it, but it's true. But I guess what, next week we'll talk about Crown Jewel from notes or from what little bit I'll be able to watch with these kids screaming everywhere.
That's the Saudi show.
Yeah, the Saudi show. Yeah, Saudi. I didn't want to say Saudi. But, you have anything else or you want to sign off for tonight?
Signing off!
I guess you got it. That's it, everybody. Good night.
Get your hand off my penis!